But now early voting is part of what America does, unless they're going to rein it in. It's now voting season. It's not voting day. So we're within that season in Florida. And I'm just wondering, President Trump, who is so against and distrustful, would he change his tune now that he needs Republicans to vote early, and they seem to be doing it? Would he vote early in Florida? I asked him that. It's going to be an interview you're going to hear on the radio in 2 hours. You could vote early and set an example if you wanted to in Florida. That would be an interesting decision.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I really feel I'm very mixed. You know, I have the old standard of the Tuesday vote and all. A lot of people like to vote, and I'm really mixed. You know, the main thing to me is you got to vote. You got to vote. Voting early, I guess, would be good, but, you know, people have different feelings about it. But the main thing is you got to get out, you got to vote, and I'll be voting early.
Don't tell me the voters don't respond to candidates, because we're seeing it in the polling numbers right now. We're seeing it as we look at the count for counties. Republicans are showing up early. Right. No, they're not beating the Democrats when it comes to, but that's a Democrats' game, is early voting. They don't show up
because
on
Republicans win election day.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, and apparently in the various states, I've been reading about what they're saying in Arizona and Pennsylvania and Nevada as well. What the Republicans are pushing at the statewide level is, go ahead, Republicans, and vote early. Bank your vote. Yeah. That way you know it's essentially in the bank in case there's some shenanigans come election day. When you look at the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, this is great news for Republicans trend-wise. How bad could it possibly be for Democrats? We'll know in about 2.5 weeks, something like that. But when you look at the last 4 years, Democrats in Pennsylvania have lost a net of, as you can see the bottom number right there, about 250,000 registered Democrats. Where did they go? Well, during that same period, screen right, you can see that Republicans have picked up about a little north of 400,000. So the question is, how many of those people were Democrats, or are they now independents? I don't know that they break it down like that. But it certainly is a troubling trend for Democrats.
For sure, and a troubling trend that nationally Republicans now have a 1-point advantage in voter registration. Right. But here's the number I look at, and it's not ballots requested, it's also ballots returned. Right. You can go on pa.gov right now, you can pull up this Excel spreadsheet, and when you look at it, it says the ballots returned, and it tells you how many Democrats, how many Republicans, how many unaffiliated. Well, listen to this. 62% of Democrats have returned their ballot. 29% of Republicans, 10% unaffiliated. Now, that may sound low. That's a 5% improvement for Republicans from last cycle. It's a 2% decrease from Democrats from last cycle. That is a very good sign for Republicans. It's not enough. It increased a lot over the weekend. I looked Friday, I looked today. Not enough. Still got to get out and vote. But that is a very good sign for Donald Trump. And that's before you get to Nevada and Clark County and some of the trends we're seeing there.
And look at NBC News is quoting that Harris campaign sources say Tuesday that there's been a thought that maybe Michigan or Wisconsin will fall. Most of Harris' events have been taking place in Michigan, in Detroit, not the surrounding strongholds of Wayne County and other areas, which Trump does well. And there's a lot of anxiety about our light schedule, not going out and doing anything yesterday, and then choosing to go to Texas tomorrow.
In Walton, Kentucky.
Right. And so why are you
in
doing
Houston,
that?
which is on lock.
Yeah, why are you helping a candidate going against Ted Cruz, Allred? Why? You didn't go get the job first, and then worry about the balance of power in the Senate. I mean, early on, Trump went out to Montana a month ago, and they said, why are you going to Montana? Well, listen, John Tester is ready to go. Tim Shee's ready to take him out. I want to finish the job. So that people were on him for that. This makes no sense unless there's earlier reports that she loves meetings. She loves strategy meetings, but she doesn't really like meeting people. And now that she's sitting down with people that are actually asking her questions, led by Bret Baier, and follow-up questions, she's not liking that either.
Yeah. So right now, the way we've laid it out, the Republicans are catching up to the early voting with Democrats in, it kind of looks like it right now. We don't know for sure. The machine that the Democrats historically, for decades and decades, have always excelled at is the get out the vote. And particularly in Nevada, it's really important because, it looks like it could go either way right now, ultimately, before it all happens. They're going to have so many door knockers. The AFL-CIO of Nevada is going to have 70,000 union members knock on everybody's door 3 times. The Culinary Workers Union started in August, expected to knock on 900,000 doors and talk to 130,000 people. Meanwhile, Charlie Kirk from Turning Point, what he's doing, he's mounting the Republicans' response. And it's something called Chase the Vote. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to persuade voters who don't vote very often. Hey, you know what? This is a big one. You really need to go. And so they will coordinate. Okay, how are you going to get there? Can I help you with the ballot? They're going to essentially try to do what the Democrats have done for decades.
So the Democrats have been doing this for years. My question is, when you go knock at people's doors, what are you going to say? Because I haven't heard it from the candidate. How are you going to improve my life? What is going wrong? Can you acknowledge that the president is not fit currently right now? Can you tell us what you're going to do to lower the prices of the grocery store? Is there a plan to secure the border? So when you go knock and talk with people, what is the message? Because what I'm witnessing on the airwaves right now, I was at the convention. There was so much joy. Celebrities were there. They were telling you inspiration, inspiration. And it just seems like it's totally faded away right now, Kaylee. There's no more joy.
It's such a good point. And look, ground game matters, of course. And those of us who've been in politics know that. It's important. But I had a dad say to me when we were at tennis practice, he looked at me and he goes, you know what ground game Donald Trump has? Inflation, my grocery bill.
Right.
And hey, that may be the ultimate ground game. We may look back, maybe, we don't know, and say that ground game was the game that
mattered more.
As Americans, we don't like answering the door anymore anyway. Yeah, well, I mean, we're done with that. Those people are going to drop in. No one drops in. When I get a package on my doorstep, I'm ready to call the cops. How many ring doorbell alerts we got now? What's going on here? Hi, I'd like to talk about the presidency. No, thank you. Gotta go. I'd like to do anything but that.
I do it every day for 10 hours if you're Brian Kilmeade.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.